You're listening to Just Hit Play with your hosts, Peter and Nick Cabral. If you're tired of your stagnant, streamed music feed, then strap yourselves in for an intergenerational sonic journey through Peter and Nick's favorite songs.
Welcome to episode 172 of Just Hit Play. I'm your host, Peter. With me is my co-host, Nick. Nick, how are you?
I'm good. Very good. It's been a while, but...
Yeah, it's been a few weeks. I had to go away for work to do a couple of jobs. Then I got had this flu really badly, and you had a family emergency. Now you don't have to go into the family emergency if you don't want to, but how is everyone doing?
Yeah, everything's good. We're all good now.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. That's the important bit. Before we start, there's a couple things we need to talk about before we start, and I'm going to make a public service announcement before we start. This is to help all the kids out there. If you are going to a festival this year and there's going to be music playing that's quite loud and quite hard rocking, and you decide that you want to get in the mosh pit, the police are asking you to take off your smartwatch. Do you know why, Nick?
Because they're heavy?
No. A couple of years ago in Leicester, there was a music festival called the Download Music Festival. And the mosh pit was so intense that the police received 700 fake collision calls for emergency services.
God.
So
that's awesome.
This tells you how different the world is than when I was growing up, because you never have to worry about this kind of stuff when you're in a mosh pit when I was growing up. So
that's awesome.
Apparently on some watches, there is a collision settings. If it feels you've been in a car accident, it automatically sends out an emergency call to tell them where your location is and that you've possibly been involved in a collision. So here's this police force. All of a sudden, they start receiving all these calls come in from one area, like 700 calls were coming in, and they didn't know what was going on. And they had to send officers out to try to figure out what was happening. And then that's when they figured out, it was just a really heavy mosh pit. So the police are asking you to take off your watch if you do go into the mosh pit. So there's my public service announcement.
But how are you going to track your calories burned in the mosh pit without the smartwatch?
Yeah, that's it.
That's
I don't
the
know
other
if you
side
can.
of it.
You might have to turn that feature off. I don't have a smartwatch that I think does that. Figure out how to turn it off, I guess.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to miss out on those calories. You can track that as a social dance. Get the calories burned?
Yeah, that's a biohack, I think, isn't it? Isn't that the new term that kids like to use, biohack?
Sure.
I love biohack. It's so stupid. And let's touch on the very sad news that we heard that came out of Spain a couple days ago. So take it away.
Yeah. So we heard yesterday morning, at least here in Canada, very, very awful news that Diogo Jota, Liverpool player, Portuguese national team player. Yeah, so sadly passed away in a car accident. They were trying to overtake somebody on the road.
Is that what happened? Okay.
Yeah. So they're trying to overtake somebody, and their tire just blew on the car. Tire just popped, and they went off the road. And it's awful tragedy. He was only 28 years old. Whole life ahead of him. Yeah, just got married a matter of weeks ago. 3 young kids. So just an awful tragedy. And it obviously it hit me pretty hard. That's my favorite club, Jota.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Portuguese connection as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
he just played for the national team a few weeks ago.
Yeah, won the cup. So
yeah,
it was a even for me, someone, I don't know this guy personally or anything like that, but just hearing that someone like that to die unexpectedly so young in such tragic circumstances, it really shook me a bit. And it's too bad. So, and he's all I got to say is I'm very thankful for all the wonderful memories that Jota's given me. So many goals that I can close my eyes and remember and picture, and I can remember my reactions to them and how happy he's made me. So rest in peace, Diogo Jota.
That's it. You try to remember the good things of that person's life, and what sad, tragic circumstances. Yeah, I couldn't believe. I didn't know what was happening. I was watching some transfer news, and they sort of mentioned something about Jota, and I was like, oh, did he? I didn't understand what was happening until I started looking into it further, because I thought they were talking about his brother passing away, but then I realized, wow, it was him and his brother. That's fucked up. So it was really sad.
Super, super sad. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's gonna be tough. I hope. Yeah, I'm sure we'll, as a club, there'll be a lot of tributes and
Hmm.
a lot of honoring his memory, especially this
Yep.
season going forward. So,
Sure.
yeah,
Sure.
I just hope we honor him in the right way going forward.
Yeah.
I'm sure we will as a club, as a fan base. So, yeah.
No, I know there's a few people that might be leaving Liverpool and stuff like that, but he there was no rumors of him leaving this year, was there? That was more your striker was going to leave. That he was going to stay with the club this year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no rumors of Shota leaving.
Yeah.
I think he pretty solidly had a place as our backup striker, our
Yeah.
attacker off the bench, rotation option. So yeah, he was safe.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Incredibly sad. So yeah, to his family and all Liverpool supporters and football fans. Yeah, quite sad news last couple of days.
Very sad. Yeah.
Yeah. You're going first this week, so why don't you tell us about your artist?
All right. So for this episode, I got you to listen to a song by an artist that you definitely were familiar of, or at least
Yep.
heard of, Kylie Minogue, living in
Mhm.
Australia now. She is an Australian pop artist. She, in 2023, released her 16th studio album, Tension, and I got you to listen to the song Padam Padam, the lead single from that album.
Yep.
Darren, just hit play on Padam Padam.
You look like fun to me. You look a little like somebody I know, and I can tell you how this ends. I'll be in your head all.
Okay, so is that a banger or what?
Yeah, it's a great song. Kylie is so interesting. Her career is so interesting, especially from someone who grew up in North America. I live in Australia now, and obviously she's beloved in Australia. She's an Australian icon, and she's been loved since the 80s, right? So I first remember hearing Kylie Minogue. She did a cover of a song called Locomotion, which came out in 1987, and it was a huge hit for her around the world. But then that's it. I'd never heard any of her other music until the 90s. But her career in Australia and England was massive, and she's a huge star. It wasn't until I Can't Get You Out of My Head came on in North America that she re-entered the charts again in North America. I had no idea she was still around. I had no idea she was releasing music. It goes to show you, like, at the time, how dark, without the internet, really, how dark it was before you knew that other people were successful in other countries. So she's had a huge career, but in North America, not so much, isn't it? It's really interesting.
Super interesting, super interesting. And as I said, this is from her 16th studio album, so she's had quite a long career and has
She looks
consistently
great.
been releasing music. Yeah,
She looks
yeah,
amazing.
She,
Yeah.
she does. Yeah, she's 57, I believe. So
Something like
yeah,
that. Yeah.
still doing well and putting out bangers like Padam Padam.
Yeah. The video is amazing. Red is the predominant color in the music video. I love when artists do this. And when they have The Cure did this really, really well in the song that we listened to a few episodes ago, where you get younger people in the video or in the song to make it look really energetic when you don't have that. I remember in the Cure song, the live song, the drummer was going crazy, but the rest of the band were pretty staid. And I think in this video too, she's sitting down most of the video, standing for some of it, but it's the dancers around her that are really providing the energy, and that's smartly done, because she probably can't do what you could do in her 20s, so that's very smartly done.
I think that also is a great allegory or symbolic of how this song has really reached across generational gaps and found like a whole new target audience of fans for Kylie Minogue.
Yeah.
I can't say enough how much of a absolute hit this song was worldwide, but particularly in the gay community. And that's why I chose this song. This episode now obviously a bit delayed, coming out in July, but I wanted to do this almost like as a Pride episode, because when this song came out in 2023, it was essentially the official, unofficial gay Pride anthem of the year.
Right.
And it was just absolutely huge. Like, it was played at probably, I'm sure, every Pride parade around the world. It was just so massive within that community. So yeah, Kylie Minogue has found herself a huge new group of fans.
Yeah. I was for the song that I got you to listen to, "Smalltown Boy" by Bronski Beat. I looked into what are considered the best or most significant gay songs ever recorded, and because that was number 17, so Bronski Beat was number 17 on the list of the greatest gay songs ever recorded. So I looked up what the top 10 was. You ready for the top 10 of best gay songs?
Let's do it.
"Dancing on My Own" by Robin. I kind of know that song.
Okay.
"One of Your Girls" by Troye Sivan. I don't know if you know that.
Troye Sivan. Yeah. I like Troye
There you
Sivan.
go. "Cowboys Are Frequently Secretly Fond of Each Other" by Willie Nelson.
Okay.
Classic one, I Will Survive" by Gloria Gaynor. That's a classic.
Yeah.
"Freedom 90" by George Michael. Another classic. "Montero, Call Me By Your Name" by Little Nas X. I'm sure you know that song.
Of course. Yeah.
"Vogue" by Madonna. Classic.
Yep.
"Queen" by Perfume Genius. Don't know that one.
Good song.
"Silk Chiffon" by Muna. Don't know that one.
Great song.
And "Black Me Out" by Against Me, and I don't know that one either. So those are your top 10.
Yeah, it's a good list. That is a good list.
I'm going to give one more because I thought this was pretty funny. Number 11 is "I'm Coming Out" by Diana Ross, which is not about coming out. It's more about going out to the club. But hey, that's a pretty cool title. And yeah, I'll go with that one.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah. Okay, so, obviously I've known about Kylie Minogue since 1987, since I was 13 years old. What's your relationship with Kylie Minogue? Like obviously she's more of an artist from my generation. So what does she mean to you or people your age?
So my the first time I heard of Kylie Minogue, and pretty much the only time I'd thought of her until I heard Padam Padam, was funny enough from a Doctor Who episode.
Okay.
There's a Doctor Who episode called Voyage of the Damned. Came out 2007. It was part of David Tennant's run as the 10th Doctor. And they're basically like on this like spaceship called the Titanic going through space. And Kylie Minogue is like performing on the Titanic, the spaceship Titanic.
Right. Okay.
And she's like a guest star in this episode. So that was the very first time I'd heard of Kylie Minogue. She's great in the episode, did a great job.
Yeah.
But I can't say she'd really been on my radar or I'd been listening to anything she's released literally until this song. And I first heard this song in 2023. One of my roommates who I was living with is trans. And so we were going to a lot of Pride events that year.
Right. Yeah.
And like I heard this song everywhere. And it obviously is fantastic, and hearing it in that setting around people who really connect to it and really relate to it just made me appreciate the song that much more.
Yeah. No, it's so funny because when the song came out in 1987, Locomotion, she was like really cutesy and it wasn't sexy at all, and it was a really, the song Locomotion's from like the 50s or 60s, so it was an older song when she did the cover of it. And then there was that 20-year span when I hadn't heard of her. And then she came out with her music, and her music was so much sexier and her image was so much sexier. And she was really like vamped up her look. And talking to Australians, that seemed to have happened when she started dating Michael Hutchins of INXS, where she sort of became a sex symbol at that point, and her look changed entirely. Again, not knowing any of the music in that 15-year, 20-year span, I would have had no idea that she had changed her look completely. And again, as you mentioned, in England and in Australia, she's a gay icon and is so beloved by that community.
Yeah, so this song obviously went like number one in Australia, I'm pretty sure. It's fantastic, and I'm really glad it's gotten the appreciation it has. I'm really glad it's taken on the significance it has for the community and made people feel a certain type of way. That's what great art and great music is all about, really. Getting people to feel a type of way and to dance and feel some positivity. If you can get that out of a good pop song, you've done your job as an artist.
Absolutely.
So I'm happy Kylie Minogue's had this success with this song, and it's sort of I don't want to say revitalized her career, because I'm sure she's been doing just fine, but really it it was just a huge moment for her worldwide. So that's great as well.
Yeah. No, amazing song, amazing artist. She doesn't take herself too seriously. I've watched a lot of interviews of her, obviously living in Australia, and she's always really, really funny. So yeah, love Kylie.
Yes, shout out Kylie Minogue.
Yeah, I think living in Australia, you kind of need to love Kylie Minogue. I think you get sort of weird looks if you go, no, I don't like your music. So I think it's just part and parcel of living here too. You're just part of the culture.
Yeah, I wonder what the comparison would be for an artist in Canada.
Probably Shania, maybe. Shania,
yeah.
Celine, yeah.
Yeah, but they're not really still releasing like pop music.
No, I guess they're not.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there is a Kylie Minogue equivalent in Canada.
No, I don't think there is either.
She's one of a kind, one of one.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, are you ready to get to Bronski Beat?
Hell yeah.
All right, for the month of June too, we were listening to gay icon songs, and I got you to listen to Smalltown Boy by the Bronski Beat. So Darren, just hit play. All right, the first question I have for you: have you ever heard a song quite like this?
No, it's pretty unique, and it really caught my ear right away, I have to say.
All right, what did you think?
Loved it. This is a really, really good song, and so ahead of its time, I feel like just really, really boundary pushing, both in what it was about, and also just the sound of it. It was so good. So good.
So there are three members of Bronski Beat, or there have been many members of Bronski Beat, but originally there were three members of Bronski Beat. The singer is Jimmy Somerville. The keyboardist and percussionist is Steve Bronski. So I guess that's where they get the beats from. It's from him, which I thought was quite funny. And then there is another musician called Larry Steinbechek. So they were unhappy. These three guys were unhappy the way gay performers were just not political and not outspoken. So they wanted to release music that was definitely more in that genre and really go for gay rights. And this song, it's again, as you can imagine, it's a gay anthem. And it was one of the, at the same time, Frankie Goes to Hollywood was coming out, and this was around just a year after Frankie Goes to Hollywood. So there was a huge gay movement coming out in the British music scene. And this became a huge gay anthem. It's about a small boy who, let me rephrase that. It's about a boy who lives in a small town who, I always thought he came out to his parents and his parents told him to get lost. And then he moves to like London or the big city. But apparently the song's more about a kid who was gay bashed for being gay and then tries to find a community in a bigger city, which you'll find a bigger community always in bigger cities. So, whatever level it plays on. And I remember even being a kid, I would have been 13, 14 when this song came out. Maybe even younger than that. I remember as a kid, I understood thematically what the song was about, even though maybe I didn't completely understand the gay elements of it. But I could understand that something had happened to this boy, especially in the music video, where that he had to leave and find a tribe of his own. That just became intuitive to me when I was watching it when I was a kid, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And even though you probably didn't understand the nuances or some of the subtext of what was happening, you still related to that experience of feeling like an outsider and being persecuted for being an outsider and essentially being banished, whether of your own free will or being forced to leave this place. So I think that's something that a lot of people are familiar with. So it makes sense that it resonated with you.
The same guy who directed the music video for this one directed the Frankie Goes to Hollywood Relax music video.
Oh, nice.
So again, it's so funny because when I watched that Frankie Goes to Hollywood when I was a kid, I did not pick up on the gay elements of it at all. And this one, if this came out in 1984, I would have been 10 years old when this came 10 years old when this came out. So that's when I would have, yeah, for some reason I understood what this song was, but I did not pick up on the overtly gay themes of "Relax" by Frankie Goes to Hollywood, which was quite funny.
Yeah. This song is, I think, a fantastic example of a song that can really push things forward for a persecuted community. Like, it's danceable, right? It's very, very danceable. It's very much got the bones of a pop song, but underneath that, there's the lyrical themes, and it's so like gut wrenching, really, when you ignore the beat and you just think about what they're speaking on. It's very serious stuff, like real life stuff informed by their own experiences. So when you look at it from that perspective, it's like, damn, this is a really meaningful, powerful song, as well as being a fun club dance track.
Yeah, exactly right. It went into number 3 in the UK singles, number 1 in Belgium, and number 1 in the Netherlands. Top 10 in Australia, Canada, France, Ireland, Italy, Switzerland, and West Germany. I think it charted in America, but I don't think it did as successful. Wasn't as successful in America as it was in other countries, and that's pretty typical of sort of gay anthems. They would have played in probably big cities in the States, but overall, America's such a weird place, and you know what's happening in the world right now and what they're doing specifically. So this doesn't surprise me that this wasn't a hit in the US at all.
And this would have been essentially mid AIDS crisis.
Yeah, 1984. So it would have been right around then.
Yeah. So there's a lot of prejudice and stuff happening around that time.
Yeah. Love the song. Rolling Stone ranked it 163rd greatest dance song of all time, and as I mentioned, Time Out ranked it number 12 in best gay anthems of all time.
Nice. When curious, do you know when that list of the gay anthems, when that was made or written?
No, I don't, but it's been updated because when I looked into it, they weren't number 12 anymore. They dropped to 17. So it must be constantly being updated. It's by Time Out. Okay. That's the record of it.
Cool. Yeah. Great song. Thanks for putting me on. It almost sounded a bit familiar to me, but
you would have heard it.
I don't know if I'd have heard it before, but it sounds like I have.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just got one of those beats that sounds familiar or not, but great song.
It's such a big song that you would have heard it maybe in a department store or walking around in the background of a radio. Like it's just one of those songs, you know?
Yeah. Really, really good song.
Okay. What song do you have for me for next week?
Okay. Next week, I'm going for, it's a bit of a swing here, but you're going to listen to the track Nokia by, wait for it, The Boy, The Owl, Mr. Six, Drake.
Okay. All right, let's do it. I guess we have to get back in there.
Song of the summer. It's the song of the summer.
So it's out right now. This is the song that's out right now.
Yes, Nokia, Song of the Summer.
Okay. I've not heard of it at all, so there you go. It's brand new to me. And we're going in a completely different direction. You go to the gym, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to go with songs that we might add to your gym playlist. How's that for the next couple?
Oh, what a great theme. Let's do it.
Okay. So you're going to listen to Ace of Spades by Motorhead.
Okay, nice.
So let's see if Lemmy and the boys help you out with your workouts.
Yeah, hopefully I hit some PRs to this song.
Yeah. All right. Let's do this day in music history. Now, I did all the notes for this podcast or for this episode a couple of weeks ago, and so this day in music history is from the 22nd of June. But I'm keeping it because it's really funny. So this is from the 22nd of June in 2011. It was reported in the Irish press that Bono's wandering peahen was causing havoc for some South Dublin residents. The peahen, the less spectacular colored female partner to the male peacock, had arrived in the housing estate in Killarney, near where the singer lived. One newspaper ran the headline, "Bono's cock is driving me nuts." So
that's good.
Yeah, so we're going to go with, let's listen to Lemon by U2. Darren, just hit play. Yeah, that, you have to give it to newspapers every once in a while. They'll write some really funny really funny headlines for news stories, whether it's stupid or
that's
not.
funny. That's very funny.
That was pretty good. Yeah. All right. What are your plans for the rest of the week?
Well, I've got a pretty big test coming up on Monday. It's my licensing board exam.
Okay.
To become a registered respiratory therapist. So my weekend is going to be full of studying. Boring answer, but I've got to lock in for 2 more days and then write this exam, and then I'm free of school until I choose to go back.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah. Good luck. I hope it goes well for you.
Thank you.
Nothing much for me. I have the next couple of weeks off, and then I get really busy again. Luckily, I think I've stopped traveling for a little bit. I think I'm pretty much staying still. There might be I might be in the Gold Coast for a couple of days later on this month, but I'm hoping. I've been traveling a lot. I think I've been on like 8 or 9 flights this year already, so I'm hoping that this is it for flights. So we'll see. We'll see how the rest of the year goes.
Yeah, hopefully you can have a bit of a chill time after that.
Yeah, I think I've been to Sydney twice, so that's there and back. I've been to Cairns twice. I was up in Townsville, so I think I've done a lot of travel. So yeah, let's see if this just slows down for a bit.
All right, I hope so. Hope you can enjoy some relaxing time for a bit.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about our independent artist this week, which is Paul Rogers, a friend of mine. I've told the story before. I met Paul just at the local grocery store. I was wearing a U2 t-shirt, and he commented how much he loved U2, and we just started talking, and we sort of became friends, and he's a wonderful musician. And we're going to listen to a song called Younger Than Me, which is the Everdeen instrumental mix. So this instrumental song is a tribute to the character Katniss Everdeen from the Hunger Games. In a case of life imitating art or predictive programming, we live in a world with real-life President Snow, and the districts are rising up. Originally recorded and released in late 2023, this new version has been remade from the ground up. Sound-wise, elements of as diverse as Neil Young, Queen, U2, and Powderfinger can be heard. The song begins and ends with dynamic layers of textured and punchier rock reminiscent of the 70s and 80s. There's also quieter spots to give the track space for contemplation. This allows listeners to connect to both sense of power and urgency as well as thoughtful and decisive action. The fire rises. So thanks, Paul. Thanks for letting us play your song. It's really, really cool. I love Younger Than Me, and let's hear it now. So, Nick, we're going to talk to you next week.
You got it.
You've been listening to Just Hit Play. To contact your hosts, Peter and Nick, or to be featured on an episode as musical talent, email justhitplay7300@gmail.com. Keep up to date with news and announcements by following on Instagram and Facebook, linked in the show notes. Subscribe on your favourite podcatcher to tune in next week for more sonic delights. And if you can't wait till then, check out the Just Hit playlist on Spotify, linked in the show notes. A special thanks to Braden Munch for the theme song, and thank you for listening.